Hey everyone, FRATER Super Rabo here again, and welcome to my Magic Armory, where you arm yourself for total self-development, and of course we are still the home of common sense occultism. Thank you for joining me today. Really quick, it is January, it's 2019, all things are new, and speaking of new, if you haven't been keeping up to date, or you haven't watched on Patreon, if you're not a patron, look below, follow the link, or if you haven't been keeping up with the community posts, I now have a new channel. That channel is supposed to be called My Magic Armory. I'm having some difficulties with that right now. I don't know if the name has been changed or if Google's still having their kinks in YouTube getting worked out. But it's been a heck of a time for me. The whole reason for the new channel is again related to what I'm calling Googlegate and this email confusion thing that is going on. So I will still be uploading to the Magic Armory channel in the meantime. But the goal ultimately is to get everyone, all you guys, moved over from this channel to the new channel, My Magic Armory, and along with all new subscribers. So if you're new, if this is the first time you're seeing this, please again look below in the description box and find the new channel link for My Magic Armory. Follow that link, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you hit that bell as well. That way you're notified each and every time we upload new content to that channel. And you can watch it as soon as humanly possible. So, of course, whether you're seeing this on Patreon or My Magic Armory or the original Magic Armory channel, no, it's a bit confusing, but there will be content going on there, but everything else stays the same. So everything else in the description box that I talk about all the time, my social media, ways to reach out, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Patreon, the merch store, all that stuff, that's all the same. The only thing that's different is there is now a new channel. And in that new channel, the goal is here to move everything over to that channel, and eventually that will be the spot. I will keep you guys up to date, because if for some reason Google decides that they want to, get back to me, and we can resolve this very, very simple of an issue that should be simple, the simple click of a button, but for whatever reason, that's just, they can't comprehend that. Anyway, if for some reason we do fix this, then there will be no need for the new channel. But I'll keep you guys up to date, and I appreciate you sticking with me. As you know, I'm not the best when it comes to the whole modern technology thing, and this is very much a learning process for me. So I appreciate your viewership and sticking with me during the kink working out period. So, yeah. It's January. Let's get on topic. January 2019. That time, January is a time, at least over here in the U.S., where we think about new beginnings and making these things called New Year's resolutions, which usually end up not being completed. They are synonymous with failure. They are stuff, these big promises that we make to ourselves, that I'm going to do this, and this, stuff that we either used to do and don't do anymore, or things that we've always wanted to do, and goals that we have, and we're going to do them this time, it's going to be different, and we're going to do it, and then, about 2 weeks go by, and then, there goes the resolution, and we go back to business as usual. So, you may say to me, FRATER, what the heck does this have to do with magic or spirituality or anything? I wanted to talk about this this idea of new beginnings and resolutions and goals as it pertains to your spiritual practice, specifically your practice of magic, as it relates to your complete and total self-development. As you know, anyone that watches this channel, you know that's what the main goal here is, to promote total self-development, mind, body, and spirit. And how I choose to do that is through the practice of magic. Not just the practice of magic, but it is a big focus. So bear with me while I'm rambling on. I'm going to try and not make this too long of a video, because as we know, I can be very long-winded, and not the best audio right now because I don't have the microphone up. But I felt really compelled to make this video, and I wanted to get it out to you. So I apologize for being for the poor audio quality this time. But hopefully the message rings true either way. So, resolutions. Magical resolutions. We do not want... First, is it a good idea? My feeling is yes. We might not want to use the term resolution, since they don't work. People don't complete them usually. I've made several resolutions over the years that I have not kept when it comes to just general stuff. But if we are constantly striving to be a better magician, sorcerer, witch, priest, priestess, shaman, blah, 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 whatever term you want to call yourself. If we are trying to be the best that we can be, if we're really earnestly seeking out our life's purpose to build ourselves up and become that person, that true magician that we desire and set out to be, I think that goal setting is a good, essential part of that process. So, since it is in January, and it's 2019, it's a new year according to our Gregorian calendar that we happen to follow at this present moment, why not take the time to, if you're going to do it with everything else, why not take the time to reassess yourself magically? This is already supposed to have been being done. If you look at this from a fraternal perspective, or the history of fraternal orders, and specifically magical occult orders, there has always been a practice amongst groups where we adopt the new word of the year, or which is in many ways is the goal of the year. It's more than just a password, where we start the magical year and we have this goal, this word that the lodge as a whole is working towards establishing within the lodge and magically in the world around us, personally and with greater outreach as well. So while this isn't done in January usually, it is a common practice. So this is nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun, folks. I didn't make this up. This has been done. It's not a strange idea. And many of you might already be doing this. There's adepts out there that I'm sure have already started doing something. They've adopted a practice like this in some way, shape, or form. Like I was saying, it's usually done. A lot of times it's done at the vernal equinox, because in many ways that is seen, at least from the Western magical tradition or the Hermetic perspective, to be the spiritual new year, the zodiacal new year, where everything begins and we start The sun is in Aries, and our hero makes his journey throughout the zodiac. So a lot of times, at least from a fraternal order perspective, this was done 1 to 2 times a year, where we'd have kind of the new year and then the halfway point, the 6-month check-in. And I believe some orders would adopt a new word as well at the autumnal equinox or the fall equinox to establish new goals and a new mission and all that good stuff. It's also very common in conventional Wicca or traditional witchcraft to do this practice of the end of the year to coincide with the festival of Samhain being summer's end, and that kind of being their new year, where everything ends and then we start as a new beginning. If you're not doing this, if you're not a part of an order that does so, or you want to just do this on your own, I'm saying, why wait? You don't necessarily have to. I do believe, now let me preface this by saying I do believe that the stars matter. I do believe that the precession of the equinoxes matter, and that you should be working and some form of practice with this to coincide with this equinox and stellar zodiacal type of thing that I was just talking about. I think that's a great idea too. I'm not saying to do away with that, so please do not misinterpret this. And I'm also not saying to do away with whatever you may or may not have been practicing. But what I'm saying is right now the energy of the world or whatever is on new beginnings, unless you're practicing, Chinese or Japanese New Year. And why not if you are really focused on being spiritually healthy, why not adopt some goals, some mission statements? Some may be big, some may be small. But why not do it, especially right now when when we're talking about new beginnings in general? So I feel that this is a good thing. Feel free to comment below on anything that you, may do. If you've already, adopted some sort of practice like this, let's talk about it, Comment below and let me know what you do. I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. But if you're not doing something like this, if you're a solitary worker and you've just never thought that, never thought of it, or you're new and you're just kind of like, what do I do? Do this. This is something. I am very big on establishing a personal practice, a personal spiritual practice, because it just benefits. When you have a set schedule, it just benefits you when you're doing those more advanced magical workings. It helps tenfold. I'm not saying that everybody has to be, rigorous and pray 6 times a day in order to be a magician. But I'm saying it doesn't hurt. Excuse me, it doesn't hurt. So, and that's just a random number, by the way. It's there's no set amount of times you need to pray or meditate or whatever. It is going to be up to the individual. But establishing some sort of practice, I'm a very big proponent of that. Check out past videos on how to start a spiritual magical practice, a daily magical regimen for spiritual hygiene. And again, of course, those videos will be on the new channel as well. Just got to get everything moved over. So, as it back, let's get back. We're going back to we're going back to January and the beginning of the new year and magical resolutions. I think this is a very good concept to adopt. Now, what are some things? What would you want to think about? And again, I am no grand poobah. I am not the boss of anything, or a holy king such of yada yada order, nor do I claim to be. But these are things, as I've always stated, these are just things that are my opinions of things that I wish people would have told me when I was starting out, and things that do personally work for me, and things that have not worked for me. So don't have to listen to me. And as always, if you're a part of an organization, please consult your teacher or instructor, if you have one, before adopting any of these methods or practice. That's my disclaimer. Anyway, so what are some things that you might want to think about when doing this? Because I do believe it's a good thing. I know I'm repeating myself, but I can't say it enough. Goals are important. If you, no matter what it is, however you define success. You have successful business people, people that have, obtained happiness, that live happy lives, if that is a form of success. Whatever you deem to be a successful person, most of them, if you actually get the chance to really sit down and talk to them, I can guarantee they're going to tell you that setting goals was a big part of their gaining success. So why wouldn't we? If we're going to do that for our job, if we're going to set goals for our job and our family and our physical bodies, our, any of these things, these things that are tied to our, flesh and blood, that make up our life, why wouldn't we spiritually do that as well? You may have never thought of what's a spiritual goal or what's a magical goal. But why wouldn't we work on ourselves like that? I'm always talking, my big thing, the word for my equinox was ma'at, or balance, non-chaos. So to have balance, at least in my opinion, from my perspective, you must be strong and healthy and balanced in your mind, body, and your spirit. So which that would mean your spiritual life, your spiritual health needs to be successful. To be successful, it has to be balanced. So if you want to have spiritual success, why wouldn't you have goals? So there's going to be some small key details that you might want to think about in establishing a magical New Year's goal, we'll call it. We'll stay away from that resolution word. So you want to, examine what you're doing right now. You want to take stock, take inventory on what you're doing now. If you have a spiritual practice, what are the things that you like about it? Is it just taking up too much time? Is it is it making your results in your actual magical workings, is it making them more successful? Or is it having no effect at all? How would you take stock in this? You reference your magical journal or your magical diary. If you do not have a magical journal or a magical diary, that needs to be on the resolution list, because you should have one so you can do stuff like this. So you can look back, you can check your results, and you can do that. So I'm going to put that on the list no matter what. If you don't have it, adopt a practice of writing in a journal about your spirituality, about your magical workings, and about your daily spiritual practice. Take inventory. In order to make any sort of change, you have to assess the situation. In order to move forward, you need to know where you're going. Part of that is seeing where you've been before and what's happened. So take inventory. You take a magical inventory. What are you doing? And then think about, what would you like to do? What are your interests magically? I've said this before in past videos. I think we, especially in the Western tradition, have fallen into this trap of thinking that magic is getting up every day and doing a pentagram ritual. And like, oh, I did my LBRPs and my hexagrams and my masses of the phoenix and star rubies and sapphires and blah, blah, blah. Which is all good. That's great. But it's not magic. It is not doing magic per se. And that's a whole nother video all on its own. And, I may get some hate from the people's like, hey, act of will is magic. You guys know that's not what I'm talking about. So let's just, we'll just stop right there. So when I'm talking about magic, I'm talking about the conventional, what most people would see as magic, doing a spiritual thing to cause change via spells, spirits, herbs, candles, all that good stuff, all that fun stuff that got us interested in magic to begin with. So I don't, I'm sorry, I don't want to hear a whole bunch of people that say, I opened a door today with the power of my will. I stepped forward, henceforth, grabbed it with my right projective hand, and I pulled it open. Magic. No. Anyway, so if you want to, again, another goal is to actually do some magic, something outside of your daily practice. And you can do magic on a daily basis if you've adopted a spirit magic regimen, if you're working with spirits. And there'll be more content in the near future on, the fancy word is evocation. People love to say now that, in this time, because of certain books, the word evocation, you have to say evocation if you're talking about spirits, because it's just not right if you don't. But anyway, believe me, if you're working with spirit evocation, if you're doing any form of spirit magic, and you're doing it as instructed via grimoires and really following guidelines, you're doing something every day. You're doing something, it's work. Maybe you're not doing something every day, but, if you're earnestly practicing it, you're doing something. And stuff like, you'll find things like your pentagrams and your hexagrams and, that whole type of thing doesn't necessarily fit in with that. Now, if you're strictly doing your Western, based Golden Dawny AA style magic, and that's all you want to do, and you're just taking it up a notch, doing planetary workings and talisman, that's all magic. That's great. You know what I mean? I'm not dissing that at all. I'm just saying, don't confuse a daily spiritual practice of a form of prayer and mysticism and cleaning out of the aura, or the body of light, or the sphere of sensation, whatever term you want to use. Don't confuse that with practical magic. And if you want to be a magician, you want to start causing change, in the world around you and in your life, then you're going to have to practice magic. If you want to change it via magic, you're going to have to do actual magic. Doing a pentagram ritual every day may make you feel nice and healthy and clean, and give you peace of mind and all that stuff, but it's not going to, it's not going to help you find love. It's not going to, it's not going to get you a dream job, or, find $20, $100 on the ground. It's not going to do any of these things that you would think of, using practical magic for. And you may say to me, well, FRATER, that's not spiritual. I'm all about being spiritual, and that's not spiritual. That is the world. We don't need such things. It's black magic. No, but again, I can already see I'm running long, so this is going to turn into a part 2, as a lot of my videos do. But anyway, number 2, practice actual magic. So assess the situation and actually do magic. When it comes to doing that magic, another thing you might want to think about, put on that list, is what type of magic you want to do. If you've always been drawn to Enochian magic or Enochian magic, angelic magic of John Dee, then you might want to make it a point to study up on that, to practice, there's a lot of stuff that entails. Get to work on your tools, get your butt in gear with that. Build your holy table, or seek out someone that makes it, and crafts these tools and get them for yourself. Order them if you're not a crafty type person. If you're really into if you've always felt drawn, or you're like, I want to work with the Lemegeton spirits, or the sometimes the Goetia, or Goetia, the 72 spirits of the so-called lesser key. That's really not lesser, but one of the key of Solomon, or the lesser key of Solomon. Any of these, if you feel drawn to one of these grimoires, pick it up, study it, find a corresponding book. Which brings me to my third point: is read more. This is a goal that should be in everybody's, life, no matter what, I would think, because we learn through reading so much. There's just so much good information out there, and we fortunately live in a day and age where we have access to so much information. And there's a lot of good magical information out there. There's a lot of bad magical information out there. But there's a lot of good information out there too, and we have access to so many classical texts, now more than ever. I'll probably do another book video here in the near future, so stay tuned for that. But one of my personal goals is to read more and read a certain type of magical book. These type of things are all going to be things that are useful in developing your magical goals and your magical spiritual path, spiritual health, all that good stuff. So, again, take inventory, practice actual magic, read more. Those 3 things alone will springboard you to even more goals and greater things. But the ultimate, the ultimate thing, and of course, and write in your diary, keep a record, write in your diary. The ultimate thing is to actually be doing the magic. You cannot, and I've said this so many times, you cannot expect to gain anything, any results by anything. This is applicable to anything. If you don't do the actual work involved. Now, you also hear me say that this is cool. This is fun. Magic's cool, dang it. So, if you love it, why not? Why wouldn't you want to do something you love? Just do the work. And it's not even, we use the term work, and we think work is this bad thing, but this is really beneficial stuff, and you obviously feel drawn to it on some level, or you would have never picked up that first magic book. You would have never searched out, magical rituals on YouTube. You would have never done any of this stuff if you didn't have some form of love for this art, something that drew you to it in the first place. For anyone out there that thinks this is the easy way, the path to perfection and smooth sailing, you might as well just click off this video. Take up something else. Just quit now. Seriously, quit. Because it's not easy. And I know that may seem contradictory to what I just said, and that it's cool and fun or whatever, but it is work. It's fun work. It's a lot of work, but it is fun and enjoyable, and it's something I'm very passionate about. So my point is, in order to gain success in this, you're going to want to establish goals, however big or small they may be. It's not going to be easy, but if you do the work, you will find success in it. And you'll find a bunch of ways not to do it as well. It's really not different from anything else. It's not. This is not magic, spirituality. It is not. That's what I'm trying to stress here, is that this is not different than anything else. This is not different from, trying to be the best at your job and get promoted. This is not trying to, this is not different than trying to be in the best athletic or physical shape. You have to exercise. You have to do, this, and this. You got to diet right. You got to, get yourself in order. Same with your spiritual health. You have to get yourself in order spiritually. And part of that is making these resolutions and establishing goals, checking them off the list. And things are going to change. This is not going to be cut and dry. But what I challenge all of you to do is to sit down and just take stock, first of all, and think about what you want to do in 2019, magically, spiritually, to develop yourselves totally, mind, body, and spirit. And how are you going to use magic to do that? Comment below. I'm going to talk more about this because I went on for longer than I thought, and there's obviously a lot more to touch on here. I may even do a live stream to get more feedback on this topic when we revisit it. So again, apologies for the audio, and I don't know if this lighting is going to mess up the video at all, but I hope you got something out of this. Again, big things happening in 2019. I got a lot of goals myself, and I'll be, planting seeds and, doing the work to make those happen in my life as well. So I'm not just, one of those dudes that preaches at you. Please note that anything I tell you on this channel, I have either done myself or I am currently doing. Not about those types that just spew information as a popularity contest or to make money or to whatever. Understand? I think you guys know. We all know who those people are, and I encourage you to stay away from them. But yeah, I'll be doing the work right there along with you. I thank you guys for watching. A lot of good things happening. I will keep you up to date on Googlegate. In the meantime, please look below. Follow the link to the new channel. Hit that subscribe button on My Magic Armory or the FRATER Super Rabo channel. It's supposed to be My Magic Armory. I don't know if it's switched over yet, but I'll keep you up to date and we'll work it out, guys. Yeah, and again, there will be new content here as well. So just keep watch. The link's in the description. Share this video, get the message out there. Again, my social media has not changed. All that is the same. The merch store, Common Sense Occultism, get yourself a CSO shirt, a Magic Armory shirt, all that stuff's the same. Follow that link below to help me put out the best content possible. All that stuff goes a long way to helping me out and continue to do what I love. Which is teach. So yeah. And, of course, there's the, Patreon. Everyone sees these on Patreon first. All videos go to Patreon before they hit YouTube. So, if you're a patron, you will get videos early, and you also have access to other bonuses and rewards and stuff, that the regular YouTube viewer will not. So there's other things that come along with it, bonus material and some goodies that you get every year, and for signing up at certain levels. So check that out, And I want to thank all you guys for joining me today, and I will see you in the next video. HOTEP, have a great 2019. Let's make it a magical one. I was trying to think of something really corny and catchy to end this video with, but it's just not happening. So I'll see you guys next time, all right?